What is up, my brothers and sisters, my agents of respect? This is your boy Trey Johnson back with another episode of the No Disrespect But podcast. I hope everybody had a wonderful Labor Day. But as we all know, once that day ends, it's time to get back to work. And we're ready to get back to work on this podcast, just like the National Football League is getting ready to get back to work starting tomorrow night with the opening game, the Cowboys and Buccaneers. But on today's show, we're going to cover a little bit about some week one predictions. Also, we're going to talk about some division winners, some award winners, maybe some, I'd put it this way, some way too early predictions on how the NFL season is going to go. But you know your boy didn't want to do all that alone. Had to bring some company with me. And on the show, I'm going to have a good friend of mine, Dewitt Ward, co-hosted with me today, just to kind of talk a little bit of football. So Dewitt, further ado, man, introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, how y'all doing, everybody listening out there? Name's Dewitt Ward. You can call me D. You can call me Witt, whatever fit. You know what I'm saying? But here with my man Trey. We're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna enjoy ourselves today. We're gonna have us some good predictions, some way early predictions. We're gonna go through a lot of this football season. It's crazy up and down, but yeah, he got me in here today. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
All right, bro. Glad to have you, man. Let's lock in. You ready?
Yeah, man. Let's get down, man. Let's get down.
All right, good. So you know tomorrow night is when the season officially starts. I mean, obviously we had our preseason, but you know it don't mean a thing until that week one of the regular season. And kicking it off for us is going to be the Dallas Cowboys, America's team is what they call them, and the defending world champions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so Tampa Bay is favored in this game, but I just kind of want to get your thoughts on who you think is going to get that week one victory to get the NFL season off. Who you got?
Goodness. I don't want to be biased because I don't like the team, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go with the Bucs on this one, only because of, for one, the camaraderie. All 22 starters coming back, that's probably the first time in NFL history you got all 22 starters coming back. So then you got Tom over there, Mr. Mr. Matrix himself, guy defeating Father Time day by day. So I'm gonna go with the Bucs. More camaraderie on the defensive end. The offense has got more time to gel over the off season and a few preseason games. So yeah, my predictions is the Bucs tomorrow night.
Man, and look, I feel that. Logically, you want it. I mean, like you said, returning all 22 starters. I think I'd have to agree. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. Obviously, they got the GOAT at the quarterback position, bringing back that defense that got hot really late in the season last year, leading to a Super Bowl. But, man, I got to go against the grain, man. You know, Cowboys, I mean, obviously I watched Hard Knocks, so I'm a little bit biased there. But just kind of seeing the work they're putting in, and obviously we know Dak didn't really do a whole lot in training camp or the preseason. But I think part of that was because they wanted to save him for this moment. And Zeke looks a little bit healthier, looks a little leaner, looks like he's going to be back to that form he was maybe his first few years in the league. And when you're going up against a great quarterback like Tom Brady, obviously you know the best thing to do is to keep the ball out of his hands. So I think Dallas is going to bring that run game tomorrow night. And I also think the Dak attack is going to be in full effect. And I actually not only have the Cowboys winning, I have them winning by double digits. I feel that, you know, I know because I'm going, you know, if you're going to go big, you got to go big. You know what I'm saying? And I think the Bucs think is going to be high on that energy of being the Super Bowl champs, getting there.
And it's a home game for them, right?
Huh?
It's a home game for them too, right?
Yeah, it's a home game for the Bucs. It's a home game for the Bucs.
Yeah, they're gonna be high off that juice. Yeah, they're gonna be high off that juice,
man. And Cowboys are coming in with zero pressure, man. And the Bucs this year they can't hide. Last year they kind of snuck up on everybody, but they can't hide this year. They're gonna get everybody's best. And I think America's team, they're gonna live up to that name and get that week one victory. But
you know what? That's why I love your analysis because of how simple you can make it sound. And honestly, I agree. But the only reason why I'm gonna side with the Bucs is because of so many things in their favor. Home field, of course, everybody, the ratings is gonna be through the roof because of the simple fact they've been egging this on, they've been pushing this agenda of Tom Brady against Dak Prescott. But what they fail to realize is Ty Bowles got another year with that same defense, as opposed to Dan Quinn, which got a lot of new players in. You got Michael Parsons, excuse me, on that defensive side, and you got Calvin Joseph that they got out of the draft, which these players are going to play some significant snaps. I'm talking significant snaps. And you know how Tom is. Tom Brady is going to look for that weakness, and he's going to exploit it. That's who he is. But at the same time, I gotta go against you, but I love your analysis though. I love how you broke it down, man. That's charming. That's charming because you made it seem very, 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 very Stephen A-ish, even though he hates the Cowboys. But you made it sound so good, brother. Made it sound so good.
I just had to put it in a certain perspective, man. I had to put it in a certain perspective. But you got the Bucks, I got the Cowboys. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. But after tomorrow night, then we get into Sunday's action. Actually starting with the noon games, your time, 1 o'clock my time here on the East Coast. And so let's just get that started. We're going to have the Cardinals facing off against the Titans. It's a home game for the Titans. And right now, the Titans are favored to win that game. So who you got walking out with that victory?
Well, before I give my predictions, that's tough because both defenses have gotten some new additions in regards to the Cardinals. They went and got J.J. Watt alongside with that man child and Chandler Jones, if I'm pronouncing his name right.
Yeah, you got it
but
right.
that
amazing. Then you add J.J. Watt to the other side, that's ridiculous. So, they sound pretty good, but for the upset for the home team, I'm gonna go with the home team, the Tennessee Titans. You know, because they snatched one of my favorite cornerbacks that we couldn't keep. No shade thrown. But, you know, we couldn't keep him, so he went over there. Then they got the young man out of Virginia Tech in the draft and Caleb Farley. And also, too, that defense was always a cornerback or two away from keeping everything intact. And then on top of that, the offensive end is just ridiculous. Yeah, they had some key departures in regards of Janu Smith and Corey Davis, but you get all of that back in Julio Jones. I'm gonna just pause right there. I'm gonna just stop right there. Julio Jones. That dude is still probably one of the best wideouts in the game, even though his time in Atlanta has now exceeded. But a new change of scenery, you know, that always sparks a player's mentality to get them to play even better. You got Ryan Tannehill, you got Mr. 2000, back-to-back 2K, and Derrick Henry. Then you got the young man, the big boy, call him Big Brown, Big AJ Brown. So I'm gonna go with the Titans, and I'm gonna take you up on your offer. I'm gonna go double digit. I don't think they're gonna stop Derrick Henry. I don't think they're gonna stop that.
Okay, well, I'm
Tennessee
glad
Titans,
we get to, you know,
38-24.
You know,
that's my prediction.
Because you know, I was afraid that we were going to go this whole segment disagreeing. So I'm glad we're agreeing on this because I too have the Tennessee Titans winning this game, mainly with some of the points you so eloquently pointed out. I mean, obviously the big one being they got Julio freaking Jones. I mean, one of the best wide receivers to me. I know numbers wise, it doesn't always show it. But when you think about the attention he still gets and commands, to me, he's still the top wide receiver in the game. And so now you're adding him to a run-heavy offense with probably, at least statistically speaking, the best running back in the league. He's by far the rushing leader returning. You got AJ Brown, who's going to be wide receiver 1. And now you basically got Julio, who's going to see one-on-one coverage pretty much every single game. The sky's the limit. I mean, Ryan Tannehill just needs to learn how to throw a rock in the ocean, and they could be big. But I'm still weary on Ryan Tannehill, but at least for this particular matchup, I think they're going to pull it out. One, I think they're going to keep the ball away from Kyler Murray, but also that defense, what a lot of people don't know about them, they're really fast. And when you're playing against a scrambling quarterback like Kyler Murray, you need to be kind of quick on the edges and keep somebody of his status in the pocket, because if he gets on that edge, it's curtains, bro. It's curtains. So I think the defense is going to be able to contain him. You mentioned the cornerback additions to the Titans, especially with Jack Rabbit, Janoris Jenkins. Then they got Caleb Fairley. So I think they're going to be very good on the outside as far as the secondary is concerned. You might see a lot of man coverage and a lot of spies on Kyler Murray. So I'm with you, man. I don't know if it's going to be double digits only because I think it's going to be a grimy type of game. Especially knowing that what the Cardinals added on defense. I wouldn't say that the Titans is going to push them over, but I also think their defense is going to hold up. I would say maybe three points to a touchdown, I'd say, but I just think the Titans is going to have just enough to squeak by the Cardinals. Now, our next game is a really big one in the sense of the AFC South division. Obviously, you got Trevor Lawrence making his first start in this, I guess, his real regular season NFL game, going against the Texans, who clearly are tanking since Deshaun Watson has asked for a trade and they have him on the inactive list. So Tyrod Taylor is going to get the start for the Texans. At this point in time, Jacksonville is favored, which is really, obviously it has a lot to do with Deshaun Watson not playing, but you typically don't see rookies favored in their first game. But Jacksonville is. What do you think about that game?
Well, for starters, between the Texans and the Jaguars, that's tough. And who's at home? Texans?
The Texans are at home. Yep.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to keep it short and simple. Jags. I got to go with Jags. I mean, that's not even talking about the intangibles in regards of how that organization, in regards to the Titans, looks. And to be honest with you, the Jags not far from that either. Losing your number one, your back-to-back first-round pick in regards of teammates transitioning to be NFL teammates. You lose Travis Etienne for a whole year. That's big. To not even on a schematic offensive standpoint, but just camaraderie in regards of your head, which is Trevor Lawrence. That was his buddy. They won national championships together. They won together. They learned how to play together from a collegiate level all the way to the NFL. Those things don't happen far in between. But I'm going to take the Jags just because of much more structure. Now, they're both very unstructured organizations, but in regards of just composing an offense, composing a team and a captain-wise, and just dwindling away from just off-field distractions, got to go with the Jaguars. This is going to be a very, this might be a tight game, only because Trevor Lawrence is going to see a lot of different coverages that he's not going to be used to seeing, because preseason is very different from the regular season. Let's just be honest here. Very different.
It's true.
So I got the Jags going with this one. I got the Jags going, beating the Texans at home.
I got you. Well said. And I'm going to give you a little bit of history, my brother. Last year, Tyrod Taylor's last start was week 1 of last season.
Okay.
He faced the number 1 overall pick at that time, Joe Burrow. Tyrod Taylor walked out with a win. I think he's going to be 2 for 2 after this weekend. One, I got to take the veteran quarterback over the rookie. While the Texans, I wouldn't say they have all-world skill players. I think they're going to rely heavily on their run game, led by Phillip Lindsay and Mark Ingram.
Two-headed monster.
A solid offensive line, but not great. Some weapons on the outside, which includes Brandon Cooks. And I just think Tyrod Taylor, as the veteran, having that been there, done that approach is going to help. But guess what? Guess who else has that? David Culley. Even though this is his first NFL head coach experience, he's been an NFL coach for decades. Whereas Urban, this is his first crack at it. This is his first crack, whether it be a head coach, position coach, coordinator. He's never had that experience. And I think David Culley, his experience is going to come in with the preparation. I think we're going to see that on Sunday. Not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I do think it's going to be a close game, like you said. But I just think the Texans, because they have more of the veteran presence, they can lean on that. Whereas Jaguars, they're leaning on a first-time head coach and a rookie quarterback. Somebody needs to have the experience, and I think the Texans have most of that, and that's going to give them the edge. I mentioned the Bengals last season, but now it's a new season. That's the next game we're going to talk about. The Bengals will be taking on the Minnesota Vikings. And the Bengals are at home. So Joe Burrow making his return. Jamar Chase, rookie wide receiver, first round pick, adding him to that wide receiver core. Look, I'm not even trying to give away my pick. What you got? Bengals, Vikings. Who you running with?
Bengals and Vikings. Yikes. This is going to be teammate against teammate. Jamar Chase versus Justin. I'm not even going to take it that far. I'm going to be blatantly honest with you. I'm going to go with the Vikings, and I'm going to tell you why. By far, Joe Burrow is coming off a gruesome injury. On top of that, he has a beautiful receiving core. Like that, from 1 to 3, 1 to 4, beautiful. I mean, talent stacked. Yeah. But if that line got holes in it, that ship is going to sink. It doesn't matter how beautiful the front of the boat is or the side of the boat. It don't matter. All that beauty is going to sink if you don't have the interior plugged up. And I say that because didn't the Vikings pick up Everett Griffin in the offseason again?
They did.
A former Vikings. Didn't they also don't they also have that crazy linebacker in regards of Mr. Kendricks? Don't they still have that guy? I could have sworn. I could have sworn. And they also picked up a cornerback, LSU alumni in regards of Mr. Patrick Peterson, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. Changed his number and everything. So with that, and then also you have a head coach that is dominant for defense. Dominant. Yeah. That's his stature. Then on top of that, we ain't gonna talk about the offense in regards to Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and the list goes on and on. So I'm gonna side with the Vikings on that, just on the fact of their defense is much more secure, and they're going to be willing and ready to take care of that hole in that interior line and get Joe Burrow completely blurred.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, Dewitt, I need you to stop looking at my notes, okay? I need you to stop looking at my notes because that's exactly what I had written down, word for word. Vikings, D-line, linebacking core. That's their strength. Weakness for the Bengals is up front. I'm on record saying, look, I love Jamar Chase, but I didn't think it was a good pick. You already had 2,000-yard receivers returning, and that was without Joe Burrow for the second half of the season. What was the need to add to that when your quarterback has the biggest scar on his knee, probably the same size as his leg? And they didn't shore up that offensive line. I felt like they should have got, I think it's Penei Sewell. Felt like they should have drafted him. He was the best offensive tackle in the draft, highest graded offensive lineman in almost 2 decades. And you just don't pass that up. It's not something you just say, well, we'll fix it later. Not when your franchise quarterback is already recovering from a gruesome knee injury. And Vikings, like you said, Mike Zimmerman, he hangs his hat on defense. And obviously last year they struggled. A lot of that was due to injuries on that line. But they've gotten their line healthier. And I think they're going to win Sunday, and I don't think it's going to be close. It might be tough. It might be tough for the Bengals to move the ball. We'll see. One thing we haven't talked about is the run game. I think we focus so much on the offensive line and the wide receiver core for the Bengals, but we don't even know if they'll be able to effectively run block, because obviously that could help Joe Burrow a lot if they're able to get that going. But what we do know is that the Vikings would have no trouble running the ball. I think you're going to see Dalvin Cook get 20 to 25 touches. Obviously, you have Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson on the outside. The Bengals, while they have spent a ton of money on defense, I don't think they're at that level yet where you for sure know that they can be one of the elite defenses in the NFL and actually win you games. I'm not sure we've seen that yet from them. But hopefully those guys that they paid in the offseason, like a Trey Henderson, hopefully they earn their paychecks. We'll see. But from knowing what we know, I think the Vikings are going to win, and I think they're going to win big. Now, moving on to our next game, we have Future's arch enemy, Russell Wilson, and the Seahawks facing Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts. So who do we have for that game?
Seahawks and the Colts. Who's at home?
The Colts are at home. They're going to be playing in the Dome.
Okay. Wow. Seahawks and the Colts. Well, when Quentin Nelson ain't really 100%, that's mainly offense, to be brutally honest. One of the best linemen in the NFL, hands down. Then you have your newly acquired quarterback who also went down. And everybody tends to believe, and it's siding with the fact that this is a resurgence for him because he's back with Frank Reich, which I could solely and wholeheartedly believe, but let's be honest here, man. Let's be honest. This game is going to be a great one because it's going to be defense against defense. Who is going to hold up longer and who's going to make the less mistakes?
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, Seattle and the Colts about what? The only difference is Seattle has a stronger quarterback room than the Colts do. So, to make matters short, I'm going to cite we're just Big 12 in Seattle Seahawks because of the fact of Mr. Great himself, Mr. Russell Wilson, Mr. Make It Happen, Mr. Always Made It Happen. And one thing I love that he did that he does not get credit for, and people utilize this against quarterbacks and especially black quarterbacks, he took his foot and put it on the organization's neck and said, look, in order for us to get to where we need to go, since the quarterback is the nucleus of the team, I would love to be in cahoots, in conversation with the personnel, with how these things are supposed to go, because I'm the one that has to go on the field and perform this. I'm the one that has to go out there and make these decisions. I'm the one that got to go out here and trust these guys. So everybody switched it over and everybody listened. So I'm going to go with Seattle. Seattle against, I go with Seattle off top.
Good points. And I like Russell Wilson too, especially what he's done, as a black quarterback in this league. But the Colts, they have a guy by the name of Darius Leonard.
Woo! That's
a guy by the name of DeForest Buckner.
That's a bad man.
And that defense is no joke. And they're going to make it tough, especially when Russell, a lot of his complaints obviously was about his offensive line, with him being one of the most hit quarterbacks during his tenure as their starting quarterback. And to my knowledge, they haven't done much to fix it. I know they just shored up their left tackle, but he's also 36 years of age. So it's really kind of a short-term fix, but not necessarily what you think you need to get Seattle back to what it used to be during the Legion of Boom days.
Yeah.
I think the Frank Reich, Carson Wentz era opens up with the dub. It's just about that time. I mean, it's all about the narratives, man. It's all about the narratives. If the Seahawks beat the Colts, so what? I need the feel-good story of Carson Wentz. He lost his offensive coordinator. He pretty much had to go between two backups, whether it be Nick Foles or Jalen Hurts last year. And he finally gets the coach that believes in him. And he had his best year on them, was going to win MVP if he doesn't injure his knee. We want that feel-good story there in Indy with Carson Wentz. And I think we're going to get it unless, Carson, with his vaccination status, gets COVID or something, and we can't have it. But to my knowledge, he's going to be playing. And I think we're going to get that feel-good story week one. I don't know about the entire season, but we're definitely getting it week one. So next game, especially talking about, quarterbacks, especially quarterbacks on the downhill of their career, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills. Now, obviously, we know Josh Allen finished runner-up in MVP voting last year. Ben Roethlisberger had 33 touchdowns to 10 picks last year, but obviously we knew that the Steelers kind of fell off after their 11-0 start. He wasn't able to really move the ball downfield anymore. Offensive line battled a whole bunch of injuries. And so they've kind of come back and revamped that line. Obviously drafted my boy Najee Harris out of Alabama. And the Bills, all they've done is add Emmanuel Sanders to their loaded wide receiver room. And obviously have two great running backs in Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. So who do you have coming out of that? Currently, Buffalo is favored, and I know people are expecting a big year from them, but currently Buffalo is favored to win that game. Who you got?
Well, this is going to be a very good game. Very good. I'm talking schematically, offensive versus offense, a lot of high-powered offensive going against a lot of very skilled, sound, disciplined defense. But if I have to choose, which you're making me, you know what? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going with the Steelers.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Steelers. And I'm going to tell you why. One man, Mike Tomlin. Okay. I love the way he coaches, man. He rallies his troops. It's like he always knows what to say and how to get the most out of his players. Also, they have a bad man on the defensive end. J.J. Watt, who we talked about earlier in the segment. His little brother, TJ. That's a bad man. That is bad, man. And I will caution
you to it. Now, there are some reports that TJ might not be suiting up. You know, he's in the contract negotiation, so he may not be suiting up week one.
I talked about Mike Tomlin for a reason. Mike Tomlin knows how to get his players together. Mind you, Mike Tomlin has been the head coach for the Steelers for what, 14, 15 seasons now?
Something like that, yeah.
Can you believe he's never had a losing season? Never.
That's true.
Never. Think about that. That's what that organization is. They only had maybe three head coaches in their own existence. 3 head coaches. Mm-hmm. That shows you a lot about what that Steeler nation breeds. That's why I'm siding with them from the head coach down all the way down. I mean, the defense is elusive. Yes, they had a key departure in Bud Dupree. I understand that, and that was a key player. But still, in all, you have your cornerbacks, which is still healthy and still strong. You have Michael, which was a very smart pickup in the what it was. He got him off trade waivers last year.
I believe so.
Got him off
talking about Minka.
Minka, yeah.
Yeah, they traded. They sent a few picks to Florida.
One of your loving road ties. Yeah. One of your loving road ties picked him up, which was beautiful to show up the backside of that defense. And then on top of that, you went and draft one of my favorite running backs out of this year's draft, and Najee. And Najee is going to get that ball in his hand. And we all seen what he did in Alabama. So you got Big Ben, you got Juju, you got Chase Claypool, you got Deontay Johnson. I mean, they're loaded. They're another one of those teams that have a very beautiful wide receiver corps. Beautiful top to bottom. So I have to cite, even though what you brought up with TJ Watt might not be able to suit up, I still take Pittsburgh because I cannot bet against Mike Tomlin. I can't do it. I can't.
I got you. And I'm actually going with the Steelers as well. One of the reasons why, as good as the Bills were last year on both ends, or both sides of the ball, one thing they struggled against, and it showed its ugly head in the playoffs, was against the run.
Woo.
And if you know the Steelers, they make a very strong commitment to running the ball. And it might be blasphemous to say, but I think Najee, to me, reminds me a little bit of Le'Veon Bell in the sense of him being a very patient runner, a very balanced runner, but also can make you pay receiving out of the backfield, which is something the Steelers have missed since Le'Veon Bell kind of sat out, ended up joining the Jets in free agency. So I think Najee is going to have a pretty good game, especially for his debut. I think he's going to help Ben out a lot in the passing game, especially because he won't necessarily be forced to push the ball down the field all the time. Obviously, they have a really great receiving core, but you also need someone that can make it easy with the check downs and take a 2 or 3 yard pass and get a first down, if not more. And I think that's what Najee is going to bring. And obviously, on the defensive side of the ball, I like what they're bringing on all levels, the linebacking core, and the defensive backs. And while Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs are in that wide receiver room for the Bills, the question I always have is, if you take Stephon Diggs away, who's going to step up? Because you can dink and dunk to Cole Beasley all day. Emmanuel, obviously he couldn't really do a lot deep-wise with the Saints last year due to Drew's limitations, but even still, is he someone that you're going to pay a whole lot of attention to? And while I mentioned that the Bills struggled against the run, or they weren't as good against the run, they also were pretty much in the bottom tier of NFL teams running the ball themselves. And obviously they have 2 stud running backs if they can do a running back by committee approach, but who knows if they're going to do it. And if you're going to force the ball into Josh Allen's hands, the more times the quarterback is throwing the ball, that opens up the probability for mistakes. And so Steelers are one of those teams that capitalize on that, especially with a guy like Minka Fitzpatrick, who's going to be roaming that back end. I think the Steelers win this game. I think they win it by a field goal. I think Big Ben ends up having the ball last and just shows why he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And that's my story. That's what I'm sticking to. And so now we're going to go to Detroit, where the Lions, in their new regime, the Dan Campbell era, with Jared Goff and company, they're going to be opening up against the San Francisco 49ers. Who you got in that game?
Golly, I cannot bet against Kyle. That Shanahan regime is just beautiful, hands down. And then Kyle, that man can call some plays, man. And Detroit. I hope no one that listens to this is from Detroit. I hope they don't chew at me or get at me, whatever the case may be. But man, it's going to be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing, because this is going to be one crazy season for the Detroit Lions. I have San Francisco going in there and Jimmy G looking like Peyton Manning in his prime. I'm talking consistent, persistent with that receiving core and that offensive line that they just got retooled, restructured, cleaned up with Kyle Shanahan at the helm calling this, man. 49ers. That's not even a. That's not even a.
And I'll keep it short with you. 49ers by 10 points. Let's move on to the Washington football team, which I think they should keep that name, by the way. When you win a division title with that name, you just got to keep it going. But anyways, the Washington football team will be at home versus the Los Angeles Chargers, who are coming in with their second-year quarterback, who some are already saying is a top 5 talent as far as the quarterback position, in Justin Herbert. So who you have walking out with the victory? Los Angeles Chargers or Washington football team?
Between the Chargers and the Washington football team. Now, I love the defense of the Washington football team. They're young, they're youthful, they're fast, they're smart, they're athletic. But there's a huge but. If you know how to break a good defense, it's to make their offense stagnant. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he has this thing where everywhere he goes, Fitz magic. No matter what it is, I believe it ends now. And I'm going to say this why. Because that Chargers defense, it features, I'm going to tell you who, a bad Bosa brother. We just talked about his big brother's team in the last segment with the last team in the 49ers. We got Joey, right? We got one of my favorite safeties that's finally coming back, in Darwin James. One of my favorite, I'm talking Florida State University, one of my favorite safeties coming back, fully healthy. He ready to go. Then on top of that, you got Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen and, those guys on offensive end. I'll take the Chargers only because this is going to show the world who Justin Herbert truly is. Your rookie season is over with. They have tape on you now. But I got to commend the Chargers, and I'm going to take the Chargers on this note. You draft a very good quarterback last season, correct? This season, you compliment him. You draft one of the best offensive linemen out of the draft. And he's been doing great in the preseason, just in practice in general. People say that he's starting to submerge himself, and there you can see a difference in regards to how the offense move and how fluid it is in this and the third. No knock on the Washington football team, which, like you alluded to, is beautiful. Come up, going to come in there, take care of business. I got the Los Angeles Chargers for the win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, you mentioned Fitzmagic. Fitzmagic is usually good for the first 4 weeks of the season. And this is week 1. And I think we're going to get some Fitzmagic. You got to think about it. Washington football team, out of 32 teams, they were 32nd in QBR. All the quarterbacks that played, 32nd. All you need is a little Fitzmagic, just sprinkle it on, and you got you a play. And I think they're going to take advantage. I mean, I love that defense. The defense is one of the reasons why I'm so confident about the pick. And I also don't think, as good as the Chargers are on defense, I don't think they're in a position to where they're going to force, Ryan Fitzpatrick to make a bunch of mistakes, because that is the way to beat a Fitzpatrick-led team. I just think the Washington football team ekes out a win at home against the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right.
Speaking of home and past teams, our next game is going to be the Carolina Panthers, led by Sam Darnold, going against his old team, the New York Jets, led by rookie sensation Zach Wilson out of Brigham Young University. So who you got? Who you got coming out of that game?
Two teams that are fighting for an identity for sure. Both teams are fighting for an identity. Two organizations that are really starting to, for one, build into who they are, pretty much alluding back to the identity part. Man, this is going to be a tough one because there's a lot of reports that came out in training camp that Sam Darnold was a turnover machine. 12 picks this week, 12 picks that week, but everybody knows quarterback throwing interceptions and practice. This is practice, for Christ's sake. That's how things. But I have to cite with the upset. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I think Robert Saleh is bringing something to that organization that they didn't have in a long time. I mean, a long time. Now, mind you, I'm going off of hype, but I would love to see these draft pick, these young men coming out of draft pick, draft high, draft low, don't matter what. You gotta think about it. Their wide receiver that they drafted out of Ole Miss. I can't think of offhand. Elijah Moore. They said that guy is tearing apart at practice. They said that coaches love him. Coaches really see what he brings to the game and see that he's actually serious. And then on top of that, he has big brothers in the league in regards of A.J. Brown, who really is there for him and was there for him when he got drafted and cried with him. It was just a beautiful situation. Then you got Zach Wilson, which is a clean, smooth. I really love how he commands his offense. And I seen him partially when they played the Packers and how he commanded the offense and how he moved. And then again, he ended with second string and third strings, but still in all, there's certain things you can't teach for the intangible in regards of quarterbacks. But I'm gonna go with the upset, and I'm gonna go with Robert Saleh, Jets, Zach Wilson. I'm gonna go with Zach Wilson. I'm on the Zach Wilson train this year. I'm gonna go with Zach.
And so I'm going with the Panthers, and to be honest, I'm going with the Panthers for one simple reason.
What's that?
Because I want to be right. I was very much. Look, I'm on record. You can go find my tweets that, to me, the Jets did not have a quarterback problem. They had everything around the quarterback problem. I felt that Sam Darnold was far from the reason why they were the bottom barrel of the NFL franchises. With that being said, I want Sam Darnold to showcase now that he has a better host of receivers. He's coming back with his guy, Robbie Anderson. Obviously, you have Terrace Marshall added to that group as well. Solid defense. Christian McCaffrey is going to be back, from what I'm told. He's going to be one of the best running backs. And so, hey, man, look, I just want to be right. I want to be able to, and I know this is going to be week one. This will be the Panthers' only win of the season, and the Jets can end up winning the rest of their games. But I want, for 1 week, to be right, to tell everybody that, hey, I was right about this whole QB situation. You had everybody else problem, not a quarterback problem. But that's it. Nothing too logistical or position-wise, just simply because Trey wants to be right about what he said about the New York Jets. Now rounding out to our last noon game is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles on the road taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Who you got?
Now we talking. Goodness. Those two teams. It's gonna be a tough one. But it's gonna be. You know what? You give me your first. Because I need a second to ponder about these two teams.
Oh, no problem. I'm going with the Falcons. Easy. And for one of the simple reasons is that they were in a lot of games last year. They could have easily been a playoff team. And I think they got a new head coach in Arthur Smith. He's going to be more innovative offensively. Obviously, there's some question marks about their defense, but I also don't think that the Eagles' offense is the offense to take advantage of the Falcons' defense, just to be completely honest with you. I'm going to go with the veteran in Matt Ryan over Jalen Hurts, who is making it's not his first career start, but it's really his first start as with that expectation of being a starter. So I just gotta go with the vet. I gotta go with what I know. I watch the Falcons twice a year, so I just gotta go with what I know.
Well, to piggyback off of what you said, because you do dibble and dabble in the Falcons, which I don't understand because they can't hold water. But I'm gonna go with upset, and I'm gonna go with Philly, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Tell me why.
Just off of the fact of Jalen Hurts, he gets his chance. He's an alpha dog, and technically, he is a part of that regime that you love and you care for.
I love Jalen Hurts.
He's a roll tide at heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I learned my lesson the wrong way to go against those Alabamians in regards to roll tide. So I'm gonna go with Jalen. You know why? Because he got a new toy in Devontae, which is a Heisman Trophy winner. Can't go against that. And then also, too, he's getting a few more pieces for that offensive line. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see what this head coach is about, to be honest, because we know what Arthur Smith could do. We know that. He's already established that. I want to see what this new head coach in Philly is about to do.
Okay. Well, look, I'm not going. Look, if Philly wins, look, I won't be surprised because you know how Alabama does in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's like a second home. So, look, if they show out, I won't be surprised, man. I'm just going with the vets on this one, going with the Falcons. So into our late afternoon games. Look, Browns, Chiefs. We don't have to talk about it. I know we both have the Chiefs. We got to both have the Chiefs, unless you going Browns.
This is a tough one. I only say it's tough because I pay it like the storylines and what the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl last year and what they immediately did right after. I'm talking like a week after. They went right back to work. They started retouching up that line, and man, that line is like the Great Wall of China. Man, that's a beautiful on paper. It's a beautiful line. Beautiful line. I gotta go with the Chiefs. I have to. I love the Browns. I love it. I love what they can do, but man, it's hard to go against. Who's hard to go against? Patty. Hard to go against Travis. Hard to go against. Yikes! You get the rest of the game. You get the rest of the game. I gotta go with the Chiefs. Chiefs all bad.
You already know. You already know. See, there was an easy one. There was the easiest pick of the day. Easiest
one.
Yeah,
it was easy.
Chiefs.
It was easy.
Chiefs. So the next game, which I know we're both interested in, is going to be the Saints versus the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is favored to win. We are not playing in the Dome, obviously due to Hurricane Ida. Praying for all the families there. Hope everybody's safe.
Yes,
we're going to be playing in Jacksonville. Who you got? Green Bay, New Orleans Saints.
Frey, you know me very well. You know me very well. I'm not even going to go that route in regards to being biased. I got to be very, very truthful here. Man, that bad man. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man, dude. He's a bad man, dog. Ay, Dios mío. I'm a diehard Saints fan. Will always be. But I got to be realistic. I got to be logical. This is going to be a nail biter. And I got the Saints pulling. The upset. Do you know why? Because we have a quarterback that can stretch the field. You know why? We might not have a great receiving core, but we got one of the best. And I mean one of the best. The absolute best quarterback coaches in Sean Payton. Sean Payton. Let's just marinate on that. Just Sean Payton. We ain't gonna stay on this game for long, but this is the game I've been wanting to talk about. Sean Payton. When you got one of the best running backs in the NFL in Camaro, and you have a top 5 defense. Shall I say top 5 defense? Top 5 defense. Yeah, we have a few holes to plug and this, that, and the third, but I don't know if our listeners are steady up on what's been happening in the Saints world and the Saints organization. But didn't we also trade for a young guy out of the Texans? He's a former Ohio State cornerback. If I'm not
mistaken. He won't be playing week 1, though. He won't be playing week 1 due to suspension.
Won't be playing week 1, but at least we got to go 17 weeks without finding out who our QB, who our cornerback 2 will be. Now we got depth. We got depth now. We got depth. We got somebody that could build camaraderie with Marshawn at the snap of a finger. I love what our defense could do. And one thing I paid attention to a lot in the preseason, out of the only 2 preseason games we had, was our linebacker core. Because we need Demario Davis needs a buddy. He needs somebody to help complement. We had Quan, but the injury that took us away from us, and that started to expose the hole. So now I'm going with the upset. This is supposed to be a home game, and it's going to stay a home game, and the home team will win. I got the Saints winning in upset fashion. Sean Payton going to bring us home for us. I got the Saints winning.
Yeah, let me pick up with that guy you just mentioned, Patrick Sean Payton. You know, you talk about him being one of the best, offensive minds, one of the best QB coaches, but by far, he is the pettiest coach in professional sports. Very. I feel that this season, he's been hearing the noise about Drew's gone and we're not going to be as explosive and we're not going to be as good. And obviously Jameis Winston and his 30 for 30 history, and he's going to be turnover prone, and we just can't do it without Drew Brees and with Michael Thomas for 6 weeks. And I think he's been drilling that into the team. Obviously, like you said, we have a top 5 defense. We have a top 5 running back, if not the best running back in the league, in Alvin Kamara, who I will definitely touch on him in a little bit towards the end of this segment. But one of the best, actually the highest graded offensive line in the league, and that's with Andrews Pete. That's with Andrews Pete on the line. That's with Andrews Pete on the line, first of all. So that just shows you how elite the New Orleans Saints offensive line is. And look, no disrespect to the Green Bay Packers, to Aaron Rodgers, to the bad man that is Devontae Adams. But look, they got to do a bid in Angola this weekend. They need to kiss the kids, the loved ones, goodbye. They got to do a bid this weekend. Because guess what? There is a guy by the name of Marshawn Lattimore, who I call the warden, who is trying to get paid next season. and he has a bone to pick with every wide receiver in the league. It don't matter if you're black, white, or blue.
Don't matter.
You got to deal with him. You got to deal with him. And then if you get loose, guess what? We got a vice warden by the name of C.D. Deuce, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that you got to come see. He's going to be all around the ball.
They work on two different asylums. Marshawn handles the top grade, and CD take care of everything else. They get
everything. Look. When Big Dog miss a little something, you need somebody that can clean it up. And who's the best clean man in the league right now? You got to go Chauncey right now. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. Now we're hoping he doesn't get thrown out the game now or cost us 15 yards with this new taunting rule. But you know he's going to be everywhere. And then you already know we got the Super Saiyan himself in our linebacking core. So Mr. Davis. So we're good. We're good. And like you said, we have a quarterback that can throw over 10 yards. And look, no disrespect to Drew. I love him. I really do. But last 2 or 3 years, you saw that he didn't have it. And defenses started to see that he didn't have it. And that's not his fault.
It ain't his fault.
It's just your body breaks down on you. Not everybody can, be clean. And this was him already dealing with a bad shoulder injury, something that most Indians would come back from to begin with, even though that was 16 years ago now. But still, the fact that he was able to make a Hall of Fame career for himself is amazing. Amazing accomplishment. But like I said, those Packers, they got to do a bid in Angola. And my brother DeWitt, we are recording live on the No Disrespect But podcast. I will tell you right now, Marcus Davenport, aka 2 First, and Cam Jordan, Mr. Sacks on Sacks.
All right.
After this game, Aaron Rodgers will call his mother. He has not talked to his mother in almost a decade. He will call his mother after this game. I don't know what he's gonna say to her, but she will get a call. She will think it's a prank, but it will be her oldest boy, Aaron Rodgers, calling, saying, "Hey, mama, that's the hurt we're gonna put on them." Because guess what? Everybody has to see the New Orleans Saints. The vibe I'm getting, and look, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I am getting 2007 New England Patriot vibes. I hope they can finish the deal, unlike that team. But if you remember, that team, they had a bone to pick. Obviously, they were kind of caught in the Spygate scandal.
Yeah.
Called cheaters. And so their motive that whole year was, all right, y'all saying we're cheaters, we're about to beat the brakes off you. So then we're going to see what our film and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I think the Saints are bringing. I think they're going to bring a mentality that they want to put points up on the board, but I also think we're going to utilize Alvin Kamara a lot more. We're going to utilize Tony Jones Jr. a lot more. Then we're going to get those tight ends. Jawan Johnson is going to be really huge. I mean, the tight end position being a mismatch, and obviously when you get Adam Troutman back, Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith, and obviously when you get the grown man himself, Michael Thomas, back in that lineup, it's just going to be icing on the cake. But look, we can talk about this game all day, man. We gotta get through this. So we got up next. We got the Broncos and the Giants. Now I already tell you right now, I'm going Giants. Like, I love the Giants. I've been liking them since Eli. So I gotta go with it.
You about to hate me. You might hang up the phone. You might hang up the phone, baby. You gonna hate me after this. You gonna hate me after this one.
Look, man, it's the Danny Dimes. It's now or never for Danny Dimes. It's now or never for Danny Dimes. If Danny Dimes is not looking good by week 4, I will start the tank for Spencer Rattler campaign. I guarantee it. But we need Danny Dimes to earn his status as the 6th overall pick. I thought it was a reach then, so it's a little bit unfair. He was put in an unfair situation. But look, you're the 6th overall pick in the NFL draft. I need you to start acting like it. And I need Saquon. I need Saquon to act like the number 2 overall pick. And you know how you act like that? First and foremost, I need you to be healthy, my guy. Because the Giants will only go as far as he goes. But I got Danny Dimes getting a win at home against my cousin Teddy Bridgewater and the Denver Broncos. Sorry, Dad. This is his favorite team. Sorry. But I got the Giants.
I'm gonna take you up on your. I'm gonna flip the coin a little bit. I gotta go with Teddy Gloves, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Mr. Teddy Two Gloves with a defense like Broncos got with Mr. Von Miller, with that young man and Patrick Surtain, and don't they still have that safety that just got paid this offseason? I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the guy that killed us in the dome, got that block stepped out of bounds and they called it a touchdown. Yeah, I'm not even gonna talk about that no more. But him, that guy's a great safety. That defense is fast. They're smart. Their intangibles are intact. They're very sound defense. And we've seen what Teddy did with a sound defense. He went 5-0 with us, with the Saints. So I want to see what the Giants DBs do with this type of receiving core in the Broncos, because you got some technicians for receivers, man. I'm just being honest. Jerry Jeudy, that guy is a pure tech. He is a technician in regards of route running. I don't know who Joe Judge is going to put on that young man, but he better start getting the game plan together now. You might want to tell him, look, you're going to guard him the whole game. Wherever he go, you mirror him, because I can see Vic Fangio doing a little something with that offense, but leaning a lot on that defense. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos. You know, I gotta go against the Giants because we always recycle players from that team anyway.
Well,
In the States, we always recycle players from them.
But I would tell you this much: as far as the Giants secondary, there's this guy by the name of James Bradbury IV. Now you won't hear about him. Now you won't hear about him much, but there's a reason why you won't hear about him, because the ball's not getting thrown his way. You won't hear about him. Like, they might show him on the screen. You know, he might get in for a little tackle or something, but there won't be any targets thrown his way. I doubt it. And if there is, Lord have mercy on the Denver quarterback. So
it's a house call.
It's a house call. I'm just saying. Pro Bowler last year, about the best thing that happened to the Giants last year. But we're going to move on. Dolphins, Patriots. So we got two Bama boys, two eras, Tua, Matt. Two coaches, Flores, Belichick. Who you got?
You know, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I got the Pats going. I got the Pats, man. What they did in the offseason was remarkable. They had the most money to spend in the offseason, and they utilized it to an extent. You know, Bill Belichick loves to work with those two tight ends. That's his bread and butter, right? So now he has Henry Hunter and he has Jonnu Smith, and he has upgraded the wide receiver room in regards of bringing the young man out of the 49ers, Patrick Barnes, brought him over there, and have Nelson Aguilar. Excuse me, but I like it. Then that defense, even though Stephon Gilmore will not be there, they got a bad man in J.C. Jackson over there, which he don't get enough credit, but that dude is amazing, man. Utterly amazing. So I have the Pats winning this one, and it won't even be close. Mac and cheese is going to get down.
First of all, I need y'all to stop calling him Mac and Cheese. His nickname is the Joker. I don't care what Cam Newton calls him. His nickname is the Joker. But it's not going to be nothing funny about what the left hand of God does on Sunday.
You love that Tua kid, man.
I love him. And what they've done for Tua is they've upgraded the offensive line. Obviously, the defense is the defense. They restructured the contract of Xavier Howard, who led the league in interceptions last year. And then they got your boy Jalen Waddle. So for one, look, there were so many instances last year where Tua was throwing to spots, supposed to be house calls, guys dropping the ball. I can guarantee you that Jalen Waddle will not drop the pass. That's going to be a house call every time. And look, I think it'll be a good game because Belichick, in his history against young quarterbacks, first and second year starters, is impeccable. But I just think the Dolphins have more on both sides of the ball. I trust their wide receiver core a little bit more. Obviously, they're bringing Devontae Parker back, who had a good season last year. They added Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle. And they also have Mike Gesicki, who's in a contract year himself, coming off a big year last season. I think he's going to have an even bigger year. And obviously, they have Myles Gaskin in that backfield, so going to kind of help with that running game. I got the Dolphins winning by 6 points. That's what I got. It's my story. I'm sticking to it. And then we get to the night game. Sunday night, we have the Chicago Bears and Andy Dalton against Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. Who you got?
Goodness. Can you repeat that matchup one more time? The service is going in and out for me.
I said the Chicago Bears and Andy Dalton versus Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams.
Rams. Cut it short. 2 men. Aaron Ramsey. That's it.
Oh,
you can put two and two together.
Well, guess what?
Put two and two together.
Guess what?
Yeah.
That Chicago defense knows a lot about Matthew Stafford, and they've been on the positive end on a lot of those matchups. And I think the Bears win. I think the Andy Dalton era in Chicago goes for a dub. Forget Matthew Stafford. He's not that elite to me. I think the Bears walk out and get a win on the road. I'm going to the next game. Monday night, we have the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, against the Las Vegas Raiders, with obviously John Gruden, Derek Carr, Henry Ruggs, and those boys. Who you got? Monday Night Football.
It's tough, man, because the Ravens lost a big piece of their offense in J.K. Dobbins, man. That was detrimental. But you get Le'Veon Bell, which ain't really bad. I just want to see if Le'Veon Bell has anything left in the tank. Because if he has something in the tank, you can utilize that. And then it's the Ravens we're talking about. It's the Ravens. It's Lamar Jackson. And I don't know if his receiving core is up to date. I don't know. They've been banged up all through the preseason. I haven't been hearing that much. You guys go out and get Rashard Bateman to help out with Hollywood Brown. And now Mark Andrews is a bad man now. I ain't going to sit there and exclude him. And the Ravens defense, it's still the Ravens defense, of course.
Yeah.
Still the Ravens defense, but man, they're going against the Raiders. The Raiders. I'm going Ravens.
You going
the Raiders?
You said Raiders or Ravens?
Ravens.
Okay.
Ravens.
We agree there. I'm going Ravens too. I feel that Lamar has something to prove. Obviously, they've upgraded that wide receiver core a little bit. They've had some injuries to the backfield, but you still have Lamar Jackson, so that kind of equals itself out. I think Le'Veon Bell is going to be a major addition, especially in the passing game. He's going to make things a lot easier for Lamar. I think right now they have an offense where it's we run, big play. I think Le'Veon's going to kind of help with those short and intermediate routes. But that kind of rounds out our week 1 predictions. And so while we kind of talked about a little bit more with the present and things that are kind of happening in the near future, I kind of want to go a little bit past that now. End of the year, we're going to talk about division winners and a little bit about predictions as far as the playoffs. So I'll get you, I don't know if you got your list kind of set up, but I'll get you started with mine. Now, I'll start with the NFC. So NFC North, South, West, and East. NFC North, I think the Kirk Cousins deal finally pays off for the Minnesota Vikings. I have the Minnesota Vikings finishing as the kings of the North. The South, you know who runs the South. It's going to be 5 years in a row. The New Orleans Saints are winning the South again. West, I got the Niners. They got the easiest schedule in the league. Obviously, they had a lot of injuries last year. I think on both sides of the ball, they're a lot healthier, and that does include Jimmy G being healthy. I got the 49ers winning the West. And then the East, or some people call them the NFC least, I got the New York Football Giants making it happen. They were a game away last year. And you got to take into account, Saquon missed every game after week 2. Danny Dimes had to miss a couple games with an injury and he came back injured. So I think the Giants, with their second year under Joe Judge, they're still returning a lot of key players from last year and made some key additions like Kenny Galladay on the offensive side of the ball, Kyle Rudolph on the offensive side of the ball, and added Adrian Jackson to put opposite James Bradbury at 4th. So I think the Giants kind of pull that off. AFC wise, North, South, West, East. AFC North, I got the Ravens going back to the top. I know that the Steelers won that division last year. I think the Ravens go back to the top. AFC South, I actually have the Colts with the Frank Wright, Carson Wentz regime. I have them winning the South and the AFC. I have the Chiefs again winning the AFC West. Big surprise there. And AFC East, I have the Miami Dolphins winning the AFC East.
Wow.
What you think?
Wow. Man, look, through those projections, man, I love it. I love it dearly. I can't stand tell you no lie. But I'm gonna go with the easy ones first.
Okay.
Of course, the South. The Saints is gonna run through that, of course. So that's not neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to go to the North, which personally, they got some sneakers. They got some sneakers in the North, NFC North, which I do like. But I gotta go with the Packers, NFC North. I got to, because they're on the top. They're the regime. They did host the NFC Championship game last year, so it's hard to go against them guys. It's truthfully hard. I can't see nobody in the North knocking them down. I can't. I really can't see it. Now the NFC West, that is going to be the toughest, by far the most beautiful football conference in itself, because it's legit going to be like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield fight. It's going to be blow for blow to the very last ding, 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 ding. It's going to go down that way. But for a sneaker, I got the 49ers.
Okay.
I got the 49ers winning this one.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to be brief about it. Something is going to transition in the middle of the season where Kyle Shanahan is going to be put wall. His back is going to be put against the wall. And Sugar Trey Lance is going to blow the scene up.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it as that. We're gonna migrate over to the least. I'm sorry, the NFC least. I mean the NFC East. I apologize about that. I got a little southern little scrutiny, in the tongue. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna do the NFC East. We're gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with America's team. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
Okay.
And I'm gonna only say why. You don't pay a man. And hear me clearly. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. Yeah. You don't pay a man $126 million guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And the first order of business is winning the conference. Am I right?
Right.
That's the first order of business. That's how you get into the playoffs. You must win your conference. I got the Cowboys winning only because they have a lot more to prove. Mm-hmm. A lot more to prove. So now I'm gonna transition smoothly over to the NFC East, which ain't no reason to go that far. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, this is gonna be a sneaker because they got three heavy hitters in here in regards to the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Jets is gonna be a season for the Jets. It's gonna be exciting to watch, but very slow season. But to be honest, man, I'm gonna go with the Pats to win this division, man. I'm gonna go with the Pats. I gotta go with the Pats. I feel like Bill Belichick has everything he needs to win, and Bill Belichick, Sean Payton, those guys are in stratospheres of themselves, man. And everybody else is playing catch up at this point. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And Bill Belichick is a wizard in regards of this game of football. He has weapons now. He has a quarterback that is smart, that has played at high level in regards to the Roll Tide because of the lineage he has. So I have the Patriots coming out of the East on that. So now I'm gonna transition smoothly over to the West. It ain't no need to keep going further than that. You already know who we have in the West, and that's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The reigning defending ones, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't got that. So I'm gonna go to the South. AFC South right now. And I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with the Frank Wright and the Carson Wentz regime. I'm on board with you, man. I truly believe this is where it starts, man. This is where it starts. He has everything in front of him. He has a play caller who is going to tend to his strengths. The offense is going to be beautiful, and that defense is going to just complementary. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. So I have the Colts winning the AFC South. So I know all I have left is the North. Mm-hmm. So now, man, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like me on the North.
Okay.
Hear me out good. I got the Browns winning the AFC North. If Odell Beckham is healthy, that bad man in Odell Beckham, if he is healthy and is on track of being that same version that he was with the National Football Giants, if he's that guy, then that offense excels. They already have a two-headed monster in that backfield in regards to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Wide receiver headache with Jarvis Landry, Mr. Catch everything his way. You get Odell back, man, it's gonna open the floodgates, man. It's gonna open the floodgates. So you have my predictions, man. They're bold.
Right, man. I was with you. I was with you until Cleveland, but I ain't gonna hold it against you. We kind of were close on a lot of ones. Apparently the North is what divides us. So we were close, but I said the North is what divides us because I had the Vikings, you had the Packers, I had the Ravens, you had the Browns. Now I'm about to kind of give you my 1 through 7 seeds from each conference, and you're gonna be listening. You're gonna be like Trey. You're gonna be like Trey. There's some bold stuff now because there's gonna be some people that was in the conference championship last year that I don't necessarily have in my top 14. So I'm gonna roll it off. I'm gonna say so. My overall 1 seed.
Yeah.
I got Saints Chiefs.
Okay.
My 2 seeds, I have 49ers Ravens.
Okay.
My 3 seeds, I have Vikings Colts. My 4 seeds, I have Giants Dolphins. My 5 seeds, I have Falcons Titans. My 6 seeds, I have Seahawks and the Raiders. My 7 seeds, I have Dallas and the Patriots. Now you notice. I don't have Buffalo in there. I don't have Packers in there, and I think it's one of those things where I feel as far as the AFC East teams, I feel like the Patriots, they're going to get back a little bit to form. I think the Dolphins, they were right there as well. There was a lot of games they could have won, but I think they were just trying to do that transition thing with the quarterbacks, and that kind of got iffy. And I think with the Packers and the Bucks, I think teams have caught on. I think teams have caught on to the Bucks. I think the Falcons are going to be better. I honestly think the Saints are going to be better. And as far as the Packers are concerned, I don't think you can continue to have your quarterback kind of have the offseason that he had and it just not affect you.
Yes, indeed.
I don't think it just happens. Like, oh, Aaron's back, it's all great. I don't think you ever recover from that. And I don't think they're going to recover from that. And don't be surprised if you see Jordan Love play this season. I'll leave it at that. But kind of going with my bracket, NFC, I have 49. Well, I have Dallas upsetting the 49ers first round because that's going to make it easier to go off of Jimmy G. I have Dallas upsetting 49ers first round. I have the Vikings beating the Seahawks, and I have the Giants beating the Falcons. And then I have the Saints beating Dallas, and I have the Vikings beating the Giants in the divisional, which sets us up for a Saints-Vikings NFC won by the Saints. In the AFC, I got the Ravens over the Patriots. I'm going to have the Colts. Actually, I lied. I'm going to have the Raiders over the Colts, and I'm going to have the Dolphins over the Titans. And then I'm going to end up having the Ravens and the Chiefs in the conference championship with the Ravens beating the Chiefs. I think Lamar gets over his sort of nemesis in Pat Mahomes because those are the top 2 quarterbacks.
You believe that in your heart, man?
I believe it in my heart, man. I believe in my heart, and I got Saints over Ravens in the Super Bowl. That's what I got. Saints over Ravens in the Super Bowl. Alvin Kamara Super Bowl MVP. That's what I got.
Woo! I love that. That's beautiful though. Mm-hmm. I love that because you understand and you realize that hey, these teams are not about to just let these best teams just come up in here and do what they did best. Like NFL defenses are starting to pick up on these small tendencies and things like that. And honestly, I'm gonna take your bracket, and I'm gonna tune it up a bit. I think Tom Brady has that moment where Max Kellerman always alluded to in regards of that cliff. I believe it shows this year.
Okay.
I believe it shows. I wholeheartedly believe it shows this year. So for my 7-on-7, I'm gonna go with the AFC first. Of course, number 1 seed, I got the Chiefs.
Okay.
Of course. Now my second joint, this one gonna be tough. But I got you know what? I got the Pats second.
Okay.
Got the Pats second coming out of the East. I have got the Steelers third.
Okay.
Got the Steelers third. I gotta put them in there on third. Fourth. Gotta give me one of the AFC South. Gotta go Titans.
Okay.
Gotta go Titans on that one. Now my 5th, 6th, and 7th, they're gonna be really feelings. I got, of course, the Chargers 5.
Mm-hmm.
I have my This is gonna be tough because I got actually one team, one division, one specific conference. Majority of that team is gonna be in there. It's gonna be that. It's definitely gonna be that the AFC East, because these are gonna be the last 2 teams that fall in there. And I'm going with the Bills.
Okay.
I'm going with the Dolphins.
Okay.
That's
I
my
will let
AFC.
you know you gotta you have to flip. You don't have to put the Titans at 3 or 4 because they're gonna be a division winner.
Of course, yeah. I have them at 4. Titans at 4.
Okay.
All right, now let me transition over to my favorite side, which is the North side, aka the National Football side of the conference. You understand? So now, all right, boom. Number 1, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not even being biased. I'm being honest here. Saints are number 1. That's all GP. Saints number 1. I have got the Packers coming behind us.
Okay.
2. I got the Packers coming right behind us on that one. Thirdly, I got the Rams.
Okay. That's a good pick.
I got the Rams on the 3rd. Now on the 4th, you already know where I gotta go. Matter of fact, yeah. I got my faith in y'all, man. Y'all better do something. I got the Giants, man.
Okay.
4th seed, bro. I got the Giants, man.
Holla
at your boy, man.
They'd have to be 5th.
Holla at them, man. These last 3 slots, man. I got for sure. I got the Bucks going at 5.
Okay.
I got a feeling they're gonna make it just off the strength of everybody else. Now, yikes. This is gonna be truth in itself. It's gonna sound crazy.
Okay.
Got the 49ers going in that 6th.
Okay.
And to end it all, I got the Vikings going in that 7th.
Okay. Kirk Cousins getting the playoffs. I like it.
I got the Vikings. I got the Vikings going, man. I got the Vikings going, man. Okay. All right, now from here we got the seeding.
Yeah. Let me know who you got conference-wise. Who you got in the conference championship?
Conference championship wise, out of my 2 teams, I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs and the Ravens. I like that, man. I got the conference finals. I got the Chiefs and the Ravens of the AFC. And for the NFC, we got a home game with the Saints. I want a rematch. Saints and the Bucks. Okay. I want that one bad.
Okay.
That's my feeling. We beat out the Bucks, and the Chiefs beat the Ravens. And we have what we always wanted. What we wanted last year, what could have happened last year, Chiefs and the Saints in the Super Bowl, Sean Payton hosts up the Lombardi.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Alvin Kamara as my Super Bowl MVP.
Okay.
That
sounds good. We kind of close there, and that kind of leads us to the last segment of tonight, and that's going to be our NFL awards segment. And we already talked about who we think our Super Bowl MVP is going to be, and that's Alvin Kamara. I
Yeah.
also think Alvin Kamara is going to be this year's league MVP.
Yeah,
I know it's, between league MVP and offensive rookie of the year, it's always a quarterback award, typically more times than not. But I think it's the year of the non-quarterbacks. And you're going to see this based on my list of awards for the most part. So MVP, I got Alvin Kamara. Obviously, with Michael Thomas out the first 6 weeks, he's going to get a lot more targets. I think he's going to have a lot more carries. Hopefully he's built his body up for that. I know a few years ago when Mark Ingram was serving his 3 or 4 game suspension, we tried to go that route with Alvin Kamara, but he was gassed after a few possessions. And so that was his second year in the league. Hopefully he's improved on his body and his physicality and his stamina. And he has to take that next step.
Yes.
A lot of reasons why people don't want to put him as that top back in the league category yet is because he is yet to rush over 1,000 yards. I think not only does he go over 1,000 rushing yards, I think he goes over 1,000 receiving yards, and I think he has north of 20 total touchdowns on the year, thus being the league MVP. Offensive player of the year. Offensive player of the year. I'm keeping it in the NFC, and I'm going Justin Jefferson. I think he's due for a big year. Obviously, Adam Thielen is still one of the top guys on that team. He led the team with 14 receiving touchdowns last year. But I think this year is where Justin Jefferson takes that next step, which is going to help the Vikings win the NFC North. Defensive player, I think they make amends from last year because TJ Watt should have won last year. I think he wins this year. Hopefully he can be able to play this weekend to get his campaign on a good note because he might be behind, especially with Aaron Donald playing against that Bears offensive lines. So he might get a head start if TJ Watt doesn't play. But I have TJ Watt taking on that Defensive Player of the Year award. Now for our rookies. Again, I know it's typically a quarterback award, but I want to go against that. I have another receiver. I have Jalen Waddle winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's going to get a lot of touches, whether that be as a receiver, lining up in the backfield, and definitely on special teams. And I think he's going to be a big reason why the Dolphins win the division because he's just somebody you can't account for. It doesn't matter what you do. You
must know where he is at all times.
You can't. He reminds me a little bit about Percy Harvin, where he was somebody that you couldn't scheme against because you knew he was going to get the ball somehow. You could move him in so many ways. So I think Jalen Waddle takes that Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I know you're going to like this. Micah Parsons. I just feel like it's definitely that guy's a beast. I was a little bit upset when the Cowboys drafted him because I said, oh God, will Danny Dimes survive the damn season with this guy on the opposite side of him, rushing him? But Micah Parsons, he's just a stud at the defensive side of the ball. And I just, that's just what I'm going with. He's going to have the tackles. I think he's going to be able to force the turnovers. Whereas, you would want to go to a cornerback like a Pat Surtain or a Caleb Fairley or even a J.C. Horn. But unless you have a year like Marshawn had a few years ago, it's hard for a DB to kind of win this award. I'm going linebacker.
Yes.
Comeback Player of the Year, I'm sticking with the Cowboys. I'm going Dak Prescott. I know a lot of people are saying that Saquon may be the guy to take that award, but we've seen guys come back from torn ACLs. Like,
yes,
I'm sorry, when Adrian Peterson came back from his torn ACL, what he was able to do, you can't top that. Saquon can't top what Adrian Peterson was able to do. But Dak broke his ankle. It's not too many people walking around and being able to play. That could have been career ending. And he's also dealing with the shoulder issue. So I think that's in his route to leading the Cowboys to the playoffs. I think he wins Comeback Player of the Year. And then, like we said, Super Bowl MVP, Alvin Kamara. Who you got, man? Who you got with the league awards this year?
All right. Start off with the MVP. I got to go with Alvin, man. His potential has peaked many a times, but I think with the lack of threat in regards of pushing the ball downfield for our offense, we were stunning his growth. We were stunning what Alvin Kamara could do all over the game of football. We have stunned that. Now that we have a quarterback that can stretch the field, that can make opposing defenses move and anticipate, and there's no more two in the box no more. You're gonna have to open up. You gotta respect this. You have to respect that. And Alvin Kamara is Alvin Kamara. Like, the dude is amazing for what the Saints have gotten him for in the third round, man. I have to go with AK for my MVP. All of GP. He's gonna have a monster year this year, not just because he has to, but because the offense will be tailored to him. And let's be honest, half of the defense, 6 men can't bring him down. 6, and there's only 11 on the field on defense. 6 men can't take him down. So, got Alvin Kamara as my MVP of the league this year. As far as my offensive player of the year, this is going to be a sight to see. But as far as my offensive player of the year, offensive player. Now, this is going to be, you know what? I got to go with Mac. Got to go with Mac Jones. Have to. Only because of the train that's coming behind him. The Patriots. They're already going to get a lot of nationally televised games regardless. So you're going to get a whole lot of exposure. So that is either going to make you or break you. So I got Mac going for the offensive player because we have one of the best offensive play callers in Bill Belichick, and he's not going to allow his quarterback play to be mediocre. Let's be honest here. So as far as my defensive player of the year, this is going to be one that I know is going to make you smile. I got the Ward.
So you think a DB is going to win 2 of the last 3 years is what you're telling me?
Yeah. Defensive player of the year. Yeah. I have Marshawn because, for one, this is the make or break it. Of course, he's on the last year of his rookie deal. And to be honest, he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And of course, let's be honest, he tends to get lackadaisical at times, but the Saints have one of the best sleeper additions to their coaching staff, and that's Chris Richard. He has a long history of getting the best out of players, and you have a fiery defense like the Saints, you had a DB coach like that to an already great Marshawn Lattimore. This is bold. I have Marshawn Lattimore winning Defensive Player of the Year, and he's going to have more than 5 picks.
Oh, okay.
I guarantee you, more than 5 picks. He's going to get targeted a lot, and he's going to step up. So now, my bad. Let me rephrase my offensive player. I got offensive rookie is going to be Mac Jones. My offensive player will be, to be honest, I have, because there's so many players I got to go with what you say. I got to go with Justin Jefferson. It's hard to stop how the way he moves. It's fluid. It's jazzy. And this is going to be a sophomore year. He's going to be learning so much. He has big brothers in the league like Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham. These guys are route technicians and beautiful at the game of football. And Justin Jefferson is that young regime of NFL wide receivers that's going to be a household name. So that's going to be my offensive player of the year and Justin Jefferson off GP. And now I have defensive player of the year and comeback player of the year, correct?
Defensive rookie of the year.
Defensive rookie of the year and comeback player of the year. Now, my defensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie. Yikes. I got to go with Patrick Surtain.
Okay.
I think with that defense, they're going to find a way to exploit it. So they're going to go at the unexperienced rookie, which I think is going to be bad because of, let's be honest here. He got the Roll Tide blood in him. So he's not scared of nothing. Dude is built for competition. He's built for that next step. So of course I got Pat Surtain, my defensive player of the year. And last but not least, I know you're gonna love this one. Comeback player of the year, I got Jameis Winston, baby. And I say that because every team has written him off. He has this cloud over his head as being a 30-30 guy. He's 30-30. But this is the thing. People not understanding this. Yeah, 30 picks is a lot. 30 touchdowns is a lot. The guy has went on record to throw for over 5,000 yards before the age of 25. He's now 27. In an offense that will tailor to his strengths, in an offense that is not known for turning the ball over, in an offense that is going to make sure that we thrive. I got Jameis Winston as my comeback player of the year.
Okay.
Jameis Winston.
I like it. So I heard it, folks. We went through a lot. We went through our week 1 predictions. We went through our division winners, playoff predictions with our Super Bowl champs. Obviously, we both have the Saints coming out. You can call us biased, but you can't prove it. And we have our League Award winners, man. But this has been great. DeWitt, man. So glad to have you on the show. Good talking to you again, man. I feel like we dominated this the way we used to dominate those intramural courts at Southeastern. So
beautiful time, man. Beautiful time,
man. So it's always good to have family on the show. And
yes,
you
indeed.
are welcome anytime, man. Anything you want to say to the folks before we log off?
Oh man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the No Disrespect But podcast of my man Trey. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do marvelous things with this podcast. I already know. And I'm not saying that because we're biased. I'm saying that because of the truth. And also, you can't prove that I'm biased. And thirdly, I want to thank all of y'all. Secondly, of course, for listening, tuning in with us, chopping it up with us, man. And there's more. There's going to be more to come. So thank you all for those that are listening tonight.
Awesome. And make sure you like and subscribe to the No Disrespect But podcast on YouTube. That's where you can see my beautiful mug and hear my sexy voice. That's what they tell me. And like I said, I always say before the end of every show, if I disrespected anybody or offended anybody, that's a good thing. That's an opportunity for me to learn, and that's an opportunity for you to teach me. All I ask is that you keep it respectful. Peace.